Moscow warned the U.S. Navy to stay away from Crimea, for their own good, and called the deployment of U.S. warships to the Black Sea a provocation while suggesting that the United States was an adversary. The U.S. Navy had notified Turkey, a NATO ally, but one with a complicated relationship, that a pair of warships could sail to the Black Sea a few weeks back. The plans were eventually scrapped.
Copies.
Despite the pullback from the Biden administration, the Black Sea is clearly becoming a sour spot in U.S.-Russia and NATO-Russia relations. The United States has increased such visits to the Black Sea, which requires passage through Turkish waters including sailing past Istanbul. The increased presence of the U.S. Navy near its territorial waters has incensed Moscow. There is absolutely nothing for American ships to be doing near our shores. This is purely a provocative action. Provocative in the direct sense of the word. They are testing our strength and playing on our nerves, said Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov to reporters earlier in the week. Seeing itself as the queen of the seas, the U.S. should realize that the risks of various incidents are very high. We warn the U.S. that it should stay away from Crimea and our Black Sea coast for their own benefit. The deputy foreign minister was even more direct in how Moscow now views such actions by the United States. The United States is our adversary and does everything it can to undermine Russia's position on the world stage, he added. We do not see any other elements in their approach. Those are our conclusions. Moscow has vowed to take measures to guarantee its own security in the Black Sea. Stepped-up military activity by the NATO bloc, and the U.S. in particular, in close proximity to Russia's borders in the Black Sea region has been determined, Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev said on Wednesday during a session dedicated to guaranteeing national security in Crimea, as reported by TASS. The question is, what does the U.S. have to do with the Black Sea, added Patrushev. What national interests are they pursuing here, if many Americans have no idea where the sea is? Russia had annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014, and its Black Sea Fleet is based on the peninsula. Additionally, the Russian military has housed missile and radar facilities there. The U.S. warships were slated to arrive in the Black Sea amid an escalation in fighting in eastern Ukraine, whereas Reuters reported, government forces are engaged with Russian-backed separatists. To date, more than 14,000 people have reportedly been killed. Ukrainian forces have U.S. and European support. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby did not comment on the deployment of the warships to the Black Sea, but said in his press briefing last week that the U.S. Navy routinely operates in the Black Sea. The Black Sea region is best viewed as having three big anchors: Ukraine to the north, Turkey to the south, Russia to the northeast. Then there are three countries on either side of the region: Romania, Bulgaria and Moldova on the left or west, Georgia and Armenia and Azerbaijan to the east. Turkey, Romania and Bulgaria are NATO allies. America and NATO's other 26 members, making for a grand total of 30, are sworn to their defense through a mutual defense treaty. And even though Ukraine is not a NATO ally, the United States did promise, along with Russia, back in 1994 to help protect its security, which is why the Russian aggression against Ukraine since 2014 has been so concerning. None of this is to say that America needs to prepare for war against China, or Russia for that matter, in the Black Sea region. The Black Sea is far from the Chinese coasts. The main military concerns are with China in the Western Pacific region. Moreover, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Gen. Mark Milley, told a group of people at the Brookings Institution on deck 2. America is in a period of great power competition, but it is not in a period of conflict, and the goal should be to keep things that way while competing effectively against Russian and Chinese influence. Any Americans find the whole swath of territory in Eastern Europe, near Russia, very far away and hard to conceptualize. This part of the world involves a number of countries, small and large, that are generally not the most frequently discussed in American news nor frequented by American tourists. To make sense of much of this remote region, it can be helpful to take a perspective that centers on the Black Sea and views that body of water as the key point of reference for much of the region. Doing so not only helps clarify what Russia is up to in its near abroad, but also shines a spotlight on Chinese activity, and what is required of America in response.